The Vatican, it's not a building, but an independent sovereign state. But given its size and the fact that it exists entirely encased by the City of Rome, the obvious question is, why? Why is the Vatican an independent country? Well, to begin, the Vatican has previously been at the heart of an independent state, the Papal States, which came into existence in the 8th century when it was cut off from the remnants of the Byzantine Empire in Italy when the Lombards conquered this territory. The Pope then asked the Franks for help, who gave it, and King Pippin the Short gifted the Pope these lands. So, despite being occupied several times over the course of its life, the Papal States managed to survive all the way to the 18th century when Napoleon happened. Like all things, Napoleon couldn't last forever, and in 1815, after he was defeated, the Congress of Vienna brought the Papal States back from the dead. There was a problem, though. The French had not only conquered parts of Italy, but spread the idea of nationalism to the divided Italian people there. This idea of an Italian nation-state, and Italy saw the Kingdom of Piedmont-Sardinia lead the charge. By 1860, it had grown to this and now consisted of most of the former papal territory, except for San Marino, because reasons. They didn't take all of it because Napoleon III had offered the Pope protection and stationed troops in Rome, where they stayed until 1870 when war broke out between France and Prussia and those troops had to leave. Victor Emmanuel wanted Rome, and so after the Pope refused a peaceful annexation, he ordered an invasion. The Vatican was placed under siege, and the Pope made it clear that whoever ordered the assault on the city would be excommunicated, which the Italians got around by finding a Jewish soldier and getting him to do it instead, because you can't excommunicate someone who isn't Christian. The city was taken, and Rome became Italy's new capital, after which its rulers and popes there probably went back to ignoring each other. So when did things change? There have been numerous attempts to change the Vatican status, but all failed, because, God's representative on earth. Italian leaders wanted the Pope status sorted since the Church had immense sway on voters, but also they wanted their new nation to remain territorially intact. It was in the late 1920s when the Italian Prime Minister Benito Mussolini pushed for a permanent solution. After some negotiations, the Italian and papal governments came to an agreement, the Lateran Accords. This established the Vatican City as an independent nation made up of this territory and the City of Rome, making it the smallest nation in the world. The Italian government agreed to pay compensation to the Pope for lands lost in the previous century, whereas the Vatican agreed to adopt all Italian laws for the purposes of cross-border enforcement. And even after the fall of Mussolini at the end of the Italian monarchy in 1946, the new Italian Republic agreed to continue to recognize the treaty as the foundation for the Vatican city-state, which remains in force to this day. In the end, it's important to realize that the existence of an independent nation run from the Vatican by the Pope is not unusual, but in fact have been the norm for over 1,000 years, barring a few